Start.
Okay. So we'll just start sitting right on top of that ball. Let's line everything up. So put your hands at your hip bones. Make sure those knees come straight out from there and the ankles come under there. So you're not looking for knock knees, you're not looking for flared thighs, you're not looking to be ahead or behind. Knees are directly over your hips. Beautiful, perfect posture. Hands down by your sides. Roll your shoulders up, back, and down a couple times, and then drop them out of your ears. Hands to your rib cage. Deep breath in. Exhale. Pull those ribs down. From that nice posture, I want you to imagine that you're about to stand up, but you don't. You're about to stand up, but you don't. So we're not coming off the ball, we're just lifting just a little bit. And we lift a little bit. When you do this, you should feel your glutes and a little bit of quad work. And normally we would have our legs a little farther apart. This would be a little bit easier. We'll do that in just a second, but we're just gonna try and do this with that nice line up here one more time. And then this time you are gonna stand all the way up. All right, we're gonna grab that ball, hands on each side of the ball, shoulders back and down. And now you're gonna split your mat. So legs apart, turn those toes out, tuck your booty under, pull your ribs in and straighten your arms. Make sure you're not leaning back. So shift a little weight forward. Bend your knees, drop into a little squat or plie here. Make sure you can see your big toes. Stand up, lift up, and let's arch the spine for a moment. Back to center, tuck under, come down, bounce the ball, lift up, open up, down, sit, bounce, up, and extend. Down, sit, bounce, extend. Down, sit, extend. Good. All right, now you guys probably know what's coming, and that is we're going to make this more challenging. It's going to get noisy at home because you're going to slam the ball down. It's not standing here and bouncing the ball. It's sitting down, bounce it, and then you have to go get it. Bounce it, and then go get it. So ready when you are. See if you can get a little faster. Keep your tailbone under. And now let's go really fast for 6, 4, 2, and 1. Woo. All right, we're going to start a little bit differently today. So you're going to bring that ball underneath you, and you're just going to allow your body to drape over it. A little flexion in the spine, stretching the spine out. And then I want you to straighten your arms. So legs are still on the ground, or toes are still on the ground. And then we're just going to bend forward a little bit and lift those legs up and tap them down. And lift them up and tap them down. So my hips are high, the highest point, right? My head is lower, and then my legs come up. Beautiful. Roll back a little bit so your toes can go back on the ground. Take your left arm and bring it out of your peripheral vision. So higher than your eyes. Bring that down. Right arm comes up, same thing. And come down. Now, we're going to do that again, but you probably noticed that you rocked. So this time, no rocking, which means you have to come forward a little bit. And then the right arm. And bring it down. Keep your hands where they are. Lift your left leg, but not so high that you arch. And bring it down. Lift your right leg. And bring it down. You know what's coming. Left arm, right leg, reach, press through your right hand, bring it down. Right arm, left leg, reach, and bring it down. One more each way, extend, and bring it down. Last time, extend and bring it down. Roll back so you can get a little flop and stretch that back out. So we'll be back to that one, you know we will. But for now, that was just a little spine warm up for the back side of our body. And now we're going to come with our toes on the ground. And we're going to lift into a beautiful arch here. Squeeze those shoulders out of your ears. Drop down. And then come back down. And then press up again. So easy extensions here. One more time. We're going to lift it up. Beautiful. Now, you're going to see if you could just bring yourself onto the ball. That might or might not work. And then once again, I want you to go back to those that lined up position. So knees are right in front of your hips, ankles are right underneath your knees. Shoulders back and down. All you're going to do is walk the legs forward so that they're straight. And then move your body so that your knees come over your heels. That should put you back on an angle and your abs should be engaged. Arms out in a T position, you should feel that even more. Make sure your head's not ahead, right? No turtles here. If you want a little more challenge, arms go into a V, and a little more challenge, arms go overhead. Bring your hands down to the ball, support yourself, roll up 1 inch, come back down. Extend those arms open in a T or a V or an I, hands down, roll up 1 inch. Open, no hands, lift. Open, no hands, and lift. Small movement, try not to make this, don't sit all the way up. You should be on a 45-degree angle and you come up, I don't know, sorry, you know, Peter's here, Janet, I don't know, 10 degrees, right? Very small movement. If this is bothering your back, then you're not going to add that arm movement. 2 more times and relax. You're going to walk forward so that your hips start to come off the ball. You're going to bring your fingertips to the edges of your skull. We're not pulling on that neck, so elbows are not coming up towards the sky. Allow that head to drop over. While you're here, I want you to widen your legs. You should feel that that is a lot more stable, right? So let's just do a couple of lifting the head to parallel with the ceiling and then up and over. Lift it to parallel, do not pull on your neck, and up and over. Now, walk your feet back to parallel with each other, hip distance apart. Head drops over, chin nods yes, and stays there. 2 more like that. And then finally, bring your ankles and your knees to touch and do this same exercise. And that should create more challenge. We have that smaller base of support. You might be rocking side to side as I am, right? And what that means is that's more challenging. So keep that in mind during class. You need less challenge, you go wide legs. You need medium challenge, you go hip distance apart, and you want that extra, you bring your ankles and knees to touch. And now we're going to slide forward 1 more time so that your head can rest on the ball. Let's open those arms, palms to the sky, flex through those wrists. You should feel a stretch across that chest and across those biceps. Take your booty and make sure it's lifted up. So you're basically in a bridge pose. Let's go wide again, right? Wide stance. Feel how nice and stable that is. See if you could lift your right heel and then your left heel. Just alternate here. And then maybe try and, oops, lift 1 foot. Oops, lift 1 foot. Okay, so that's one option. Next option, feet in parallel with your hips. Again, lift a heel, try and lift a foot, lift a foot. Has your booty started to sag? Mine was. Well, I mean, not just in general in life. And then finally, if you want a little more challenge, bring your ankles and knees to touch. And again, you can do the heel lift, you can do a foot lift, but my recommendation is hip distance apart if you're going to try and lift a heel or a toe or a foot or a knee. Maybe a knee comes to tabletop. Maybe a knee comes to tabletop and then extends up in the air. Maybe you come to that extended position. Maybe you come to that straight leg and you give me a circle with that leg. And when you've had enough, you're gonna roll back and then roll up so you end up on top of your ball again. All right, the last little thing we'll do here from the seated position is a little test to see if we could lift our feet off the ground. And just stay there. If you're able to do that, you could try tucking, right? So you go under. If you could do that, you could try side to side. And lastly, if you can do all that, woo, you can circle. Just be sure you reverse your circle. So feet in the air, little play time here. And relax. All right, wide stance. Tip forward so your tailbone can tip out. Give me a cow position, arch. Round it under, give me a cat. And then come forward in your cat. And then extend and lift in that cow. Just a quick little stretch for that back. All right, from there, we're gonna bring that ball again. We're gonna come down and do this however you need to. I want you to lie on your right side and put your right hand on the ground. Then try to straighten your legs out. So kind of a modified side plank here. Stack your hips if you can. Can you lift your top arm straight up? Can you lift your top leg straight up? Pull your abs in. If you're good with all of this, see if you could draw some little circles. without, I'm sorry. Are you okay, Ann? Let me see a thumbs up if you're okay. Okay, and reverse your circle. It was graceful. All right, if you can do those circles, make them a little bigger and reverse them, by the way. And reverse again. If this is too much balance, this hand can be here, right? And then the last thing you're going to try is a couple of big circles in each direction, and that's where that might challenge your balance again. And reverse. And relax. Woo! I know we have another side, so keep in mind where you are. Roll over again, so the ball is right underneath you. Wide stance with your feet, and this time we'll do the actual extension. So we did this before, using the ball or hands on the ball for support. If you can, this time your hands by your side, squeeze the shoulder blades together to lift yourself up to get that extension. Now, all you have to do is either flip away from me, or if you still want to see on camera, move your ball to the opposite end and put your left hip on it. Left hand on the ground, and then try and stack your legs. If you've done all that, lift that top arm. If you need it here, that's fine. And then see if you can lift that top leg. So again, modified side plank. Option to start some circles here. Reverse. Bigger. Reverse. And then really big circles, a few in each direction. And reverse. And relax. Flop over that ball. And then from there, just go ahead and sit down. And we're on the ground. All right, so coming down to a lying down position, let's just grab that ball, feet on the ground, and let's put the ball at your kneecaps. Check to make sure your ankles and your knees and your hips are the same distance apart. Deep breath in. Exhale, float off the ground, roll that ball all the way up to the tips of of your knees, and then if you want, lift it straight above you without dropping your shoulders down. And then fall back to your kneecaps and roll down to prepare. So ab prep, deep breath in, exhale to roll up, inhale, lift the ball off your knees, reach above you, or a little more challenging overhead, and exhale, roll down. Here we go again. So you're exhaling on the movement, you're inhaling at the top and the bottom, and I'm going to give you one more little challenge if you want. It's just coordination. When your ball comes overhead, you bounce it and grab it. If that throws you off and the ball goes away to some other room of the house, then don't do that. Beautiful. Last one. And relax for a moment. Then stack those legs tabletop and put the ball on the knees. Now, did you bring your knees in to put the ball there? Don't do that. Push those knees right above your hips so they don't get to come in here. You're going to balance that ball on the shins for now. Deep breath in. Exhale, float the neck and shoulders off the ground. Inhale, extend those arms overhead. Exhale, place the ball on the shins. Again, not by bringing the knees in, but by coming up to those shins. Balance for a second, and then again to the arms. Two more like that. We just take that balance for a second, and then extend. Now adding on, open the knees so you can put the ball between your ankles and extend the legs and the arms. Then again, bend the knees, go get the ball, don't bring it to you, and extend the ball with your arms. And again, ball between the legs and ball between the hands. One more challenge. Put the ball on the knees, roll up the shins to the ankles, roll down, don't roll all the way down, extend. Bend the knees, roll the ball up and down the shins, come only halfway down. So a couple more just like that if you want. You're trying not to use momentum if possible. So put the ball on the knees first, then slowly roll up. With the knees staying in tabletop if possible. Right, so they stay in tabletop and then you extend when you come with that ball overhead. All right, next time you come down, stay down, put the feet on the ground and take that ball between your thighs. Bring your hands on top of the ball because it's going to want to squirt out because we're going to use our inner thighs. So we have a wide stance and then we're just squeezing the ball. Isometric hold here. Feel those inner thighs working and also feel engagement of those low abs and then release that squeeze. Deep breath in. Exhale, we're doing that again. Squeezing as hard as you can, pushing the air out of the ball, pulling those abs flat and release. We have two more like that. Exhale to squeeze. Nod your head yes, by the way, shoulders out of your ears. Release the squeeze. One more time, exhale, squeeze. And then this time we're gonna add a pulse. So squeeze in, squeeze in, squeeze in. Check those abs. They should tighten every time you squeeze in. 3, 2, 1. Bring that ball overhead, put the soles of your feet together. Arms relax over your head. Soles of the feet just allowing you to get a passive inner thigh stretch. While you're here, a little more stretch. You know, take that ball on the inside of the left thigh, just let it rest there. So I'm not putting a bunch of weight on it, but I should feel a deeper stretch on that left groin and inner thigh. And then same thing, ball on the inside of that right. Beautiful. And now I'm going to go back to holding that ball between my knees, but I'm going to slide it just a little higher toward my knees so it's closer to my shins and then find tabletop. And again, chin nods yes, arms out into a T position, toes are going to point or flex. As you move the ball away from your body, keeping the knees bent at the bottom, give it a squeeze as you come up for toe touch. Inhale, legs move away. Exhale, squeeze, bring it up. Inhale, legs move away. Exhale, squeeze, bring it up. Good, keep that going for me, please. We're going to pause. I'm going to put the soles of the feet together again, arms overhead, just let that rest. Passive inner thigh stretch. We have one more round. You are welcome to go back to what we just did, or you can bring your legs straight above you and put that ball closer to your ankles. And then again, we're going to lower, squeeze the ball, and come up, abs in. Point to lower, squeeze, and come up. So we reach, squeeze up. Should really feel those inner thighs on this one. Good. Bring that ball up, soles of the feet together. We have one last ball squeeze, so you may feel this in your inner thighs tomorrow. Okay, first option is to go back to that tabletop position, arms into a T, squeeze the ball, let the knees rock left and right. You might, with that ball, even be able to tap one leg to each side, but notice how much you're doing with your triceps and try to minimize that. Or if you want, of course, those legs could be straight. And if you're doing the straight, you can even add a little bit sort of a figure eight. So when the ball goes to the left, my right leg rolls on top to get a bigger twist, almost like a corkscrew in my waist. When the ball goes to the right, my left leg rolls on top. And then as we come back to center, grab that ball, feet on the ground. We're going to stack that ball on the shins, even down toward the ankles. Pull your forehead towards your knees. We're rolling like a ball without kicking that ball across the room. Exhaling to roll and pause. And then next time you come up, whoo, sit up tall. Bring that ball between your knees again, but press yourself tall through your spine. Then you can let the squeeze go. This should feel pretty good for those inner thighs. Let's keep a bend in the knees for now. I want you to put your hands on top of the ball and press down so much that it allows you to lengthen out through the top of your head. Then give me a little hinge forward. And then push down again and give me a little hinge forward. If at any point you want to straighten your legs, that's fine. So make sure you're not here. Make sure you're not here, right? Your head is in line with your spine, but that probably means you need to bring your shoulder blades back, not just your head, right? So the hinge is at your hips, not in your upper body. You're pressing down on the ball to grow tall, and you're hinging forward and reaching through those fingers, toes flex back towards your face. And we'll sit up. All right, we're going to do just a little bit of our roll down and then roll downs with rotation. So we're going to sit up with that ball right in front of us. We're going to exhale into our roll down position. If you want a little more challenge, you lift that ball higher, but make sure your toes stay on the ground, lower the ball. Exhale, come up. Inhale at the top. Exhale to hinge, then lift the ball. Lower the ball before you try to move, right? You can inhale at the top, get that extension, just as we did at the beginning of class. Right, so on the movement, where our arms are low. At the top, our arms are high. As we go back, our arms are low, and then they reach up overhead. So movement, arms low, top and bottom, arms high. And then let's come up for a second. Just relax. You can let those inner thighs drape open, but extend your spine. And then grab the ball. Knees together, squeeze them so they touch, bring the ball low, hinge back, not very far, rotate side to side. And relax. Woo, okay. So for this next series, I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to move my mat toward the back of where the camera is. And in that process, I'm going to end up folding up my mat so I have some knee support. You can feel free to do the same. Obviously, you don't have to worry about whether you're going to be on camera or not, or maybe do. So once you find that support for your knees, we're going to bring the ball up against our thighs. And then you're going to sit down on your heels and keep the ball that close. So my forearm is touching my bicep and my elbows are touching my thighs. That's how much of a little ball you want to be in. Then from there, roll forward, but keep your arms bent like little lizard arms. Lift your toes up in the air. And then at the end, we're going to tuck the booty under. We're going to pull the belly button in. And we're going to slide forward in a plank, arms straight. Bend the elbows, lizard arms, pull the belly button in, tuck the hips under, roll the ball back, but don't stick the booty out, right? So we're going to try and stay plank, baby pike. So you're working most of the time, plank, baby pike. Challenge yourself to go farther out in that plank, but pull the abs in, pull the ribs in, tuck the tailbone under. Now we're going to go one more time, out and hold. Pull the belly button in, tuck the booty under, straighten the arms, 4, 3, 2, woo! Ball underneath your belly. You should feel like you need that. Let your head drop. Walk your hands over to the right. Let that left arm go in front. You can even cross over at the left wrist, right wrist. Walk back through center, walk over to the left, right arm goes up and over. And back through center. And now we're going to go into that extension that we did already. Just a little quick reminder, we're going to straighten out those legs. Hands on the ball the first few times. Give it a little lift and bring it down. And then if you can, we're going to go hands by our side. Just 2 times and bring that down. Now we're going to bring our hands out ahead of us, right? Bend the elbows so that you come forward and your hips are the highest point. And then we'll do a couple more of those hyperextensions, reverse hyperextensions. Legs together would be more desirable, but legs apart is okay. And then hold and straighten your arms. Now, if I succeeded in getting your hands far enough ahead of the ball, your hands should be a foot in front of the ball. If they're way back here, you're going to need to walk them forward. Get your hands close together. They're not way out here. Roll your shoulders out of your ears and then boop, plank, right? Legs are straight, knees are tight. And then elbows are going to bend backwards. I'm going to tap the ball with my elbows. My head is coming down to the ground. My legs are equally going up. And then I straighten my arms. So Pilates style push up. The ball should end up basically underneath your hips, down towards your thighs. You're not folding at your hips, right? So I'm not going to leave my legs draped down like that. My legs start, everything starts in parallel. And then as the head goes down, those legs go up. If you want more challenge, you walk your hands farther ahead. You drag the ball farther down your body. Two more. And then I'm going to ask you to hold this last one down. Elbows bent backwards, press up an inch, an inch, an inch, an inch, an inch. Woo! And you get to pop again. Remember where you just were, however. All right, so try to go back to where you just were. You were in that parallel position. The ball should have been under your hips or your thighs. Head in line with your spine. So look down at the ground, nod your head yes. Shoulders back out of your ears, press the floor away so you're not squeezing together. Put your belly button in, make sure there's not a sloppy bend in your knees, flex through those heels. High plank position. Option to stay here. If anytime you need a break, just take a leg off. Or if you want more, walk your hands forward, drag yourself forward till the ball comes underneath your thighs. And again, you want to press through those heels or point the toes to straighten those legs, press the floor away, head in line with your spine. If you want more, you walk those hands even farther, you drag the ball underneath your shins, press away, be strong in that upper body, head in line with your spine. Back of the neck is long. And then lastly, if you want a little bit more, you're going to walk forward till that ball comes underneath your ankles. You really press that floor away, be strong. And then you get to flop again. All right, last thing we're going to do from this prone position is to come back one more time with our feet down and our hands underneath our shoulders. Remember that left leg, right arm that we did at the beginning of class? I'd like you to try that again. Alternating arm and leg. Be strong, hold it for a moment. Once you get to the top, if you start to lose your balance, press into the hand that's on the ground. And then we've done legs up. We've done arms up. We didn't do them above head. Now we're going to see, could we do all four? Remember, if your face gets close to the floor, put your hands down before your face hits, please. And when you've had enough playtime, one more flop. When you finish that flop, you're going to unfold your mat only halfway, right? So I still have a little bit of elevation at the bottom of my mat. Sorry, there we go. So I'm going to bring the ball, in front of me, and I'm going to scoot all the way down off my mat. See? Whoop, there's space there. I'm not on my mat. Then I'm going to bring the ball in front of me, and then I'm going to lie down, and now my hips are on my mat. And I'm going to lengthen my legs. Woo! One of our favorite positions. Just resting for a moment. Nod your head yes, feel that openness across your chest. Take a little break, but now I want you to flex through your heels. So remember, wider stance is going to be more stable. Feet together is going to be more challenging. When you feel ready, maybe from hip distance, lift your hips. So you're in a bridge. If you want to make it harder, bring those feet together. If you want to make it harder, lift your arms off the ground, maybe hover them beside you. Now, from here, you have options. You can hover, you could lift and lower, or if you want to try one leg at a time, you'll lift and lower one leg 3 times while the other leg works a little bit harder. Now, stay here, gently lower your hips. If you want to, stay there. If you want the next level, you're going to roll the ball until your feet are on the ball. So they're kind of at the front face of the ball, 1 o'clock. And then again, option to lift and hold, or go feet together, or hands up, and you could lift and lower, or maybe hands down and one leg up and down 3 times. And then, of course, the other leg. And then stay where you are, but lower the hips. That's option 2. Option 3 is to roll the ball so far in that it almost touches your hamstrings and your heels are the only thing on the top of the ball. So there's nothing touching here, nothing touching here. I feel like one of those magicians. And then again, lift it up. Feet together, more challenge, arms in the air, more challenge, or you can try that single leg. And then we're going to come all the way back to that starting position, ankles on the ball. All right, so now we're going to do a little series. If you need to take a break, you can take a break, but you're only going to count to 2 and then join me again. This is hamstring and glute work. So here we go. We lift up. We're going to roll the ball in. Feet are together. Ankles are together. Knees are together. Hamstring work. You may feel this a little more on those medial hamstrings. If you want to work a little harder, extend that left leg up in the air. Use the right leg only. And then switch it up, left leg down, right leg, or you're still doing both. Then both legs on the ball, roll it in, knees are bent, everybody is right here, hips are lifted, feet are close together, abs are in, put your hips on the ground, take a breath, deep breath in, lift your hips up. Now go down, up, down, up, down, up, down, down. Four more. And relax. Ouch. Let's roll the ball underneath the left leg and let it relax to the side. Just passive little hamstring stretch for that left leg. But we're going to be a little more active with the right. We're going to bring that right knee toward the right shoulder. Maybe draw a circle, both directions. Beautiful. Flex your toes back towards your face. Grab those toes, bring your knee down toward your shoulder. Feel that nice hamstring stretch. Maybe mobilize a little bit through your ankle. Straighten it out if you want. Maybe you need to hold lower. And then roll the ball back through center. Take that right ankle across the left thigh. But then I want you to move the right leg over top of your hip, not off to the side, but right over your hip. Then bend that left knee to bring that deeper stretch into that outer right hip. So I'm basically trying to get my knee and my ankle on the same plane, not here, but here. I'm trying to get my ankle the same height as my knee, and I'm trying not to twist my hips to get there. And relax. Put that right leg beside the left one. It feels so much better. Roll the ball underneath your right leg, leave it there. Left knee comes into your left shoulder. When you feel ready, take a nice slow circle in one direction and then the other. Beautiful. Reach down, grab your left toes, pull them back, flex through your heel. Press up, point and flex. Maybe some rotations. Good. Left knee comes in, right leg comes back to center. We're going to take that left ankle, but then we're going to slide so our left knee comes up above the left hip. Then we roll that in. We're trying to pull use our right hand to pull the left ankle towards us, use our left hand to push the knee away so they're not askew or akimbo. And then relax, put that left leg beside the right one, arms go up overhead. That's just open. Okay. Walk the ball even a little farther away so your legs are just in a comfy position here. Bring your hands down by your sides. Exhale, float the head, neck, and shoulders off the ground. Grab your hamstrings, walk yourself up or slide yourself up. Look at there. Legs are up in the air where you need them to be for a teaser. Make sure you're not rounded and lifted here. See, no leg work. grab hold, roll back down. Now, if this isn't working for you, a couple options. One, bring the ball a little closer, bend the knees, roll up just only to your level, pause there, do what you want with your arms, and then come down. If you're doing the full teaser or, trying, then just see if you can come up, 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 and lift, 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 and roll down. And you can play with bringing that ball closer so it gets more challenging. And you end up, however, I went too far. You end up, however, with your legs a little higher. And then last time, roll down, woo, grab that ball, let your knees drop to the left, let the ball drop to the right. Bring that ball back through center, let the knees drop to the right, ball to the left. Just a little twisty stretch here. And then everything back up through center. All right. I think this is, before we sit on the ball for a minute, this is our last little challenge. So, option to do a baby roll up, just come as far as you can and then lift. So it's going to be just like that ab prep exercise we did earlier, right? Option to come up. You could even play with the ball for a second, or can you do a full roll up and then just hold, lift, and come back down? Or this is crazy. Pretend like I'm aiming for this space, right? I'm going to throw the ball to that space and I have to go get it. You have to be pretty aggressive. Now I'm going to aim for this space back here and try not to ruin my furniture. I'm going to throw it overhead and go get it. Up, overhead, whoa, above, overhead, above. This is really challenging for your back. It's fast. Don't do it if that would not be a good idea. So you can just do a modified roll up if you prefer. That's absolutely fine. All right, and then whatever you're doing, mosey your way. Let's see, what will be the easiest way? Let's just help ourselves. Come up. Brace the ball so you've got good support with your arms. And then come into that little ball. We did this before, but we were on the other side of the ball. This time, our calves and our hamstrings are touching. Now, option one is to straighten your arms and let your head rest on the ball. Or open your arms. This is an easy peasy little spine opener, chest opener. A little more, lift the hips up to a bridge, let the head be on top of the ball, nod the head yes. If you don't get vertigo, you could come up and over all the way, let your head hang over backwards. So wherever you are is absolutely fine. All we're looking for is a nice opening of the chest, support of the head. And then wherever you are, the first thing you're going to do is nod yes, tuck your chin. As you roll up, you have to walk backwards so that you end up on top of the ball. And then we'll do just a couple of seated stretches here. Keep in mind you are on the ball, so if it feels like too much, feel free to have a hand on the wall, but I think we're going to be okay. I'm going to start with that right hand down. We're going to lift the left arm by the ear, and we want to reach, 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 and then we'll drop over. And then we're going to rotate forward down toward that opposite ankle, back up, and to the back of the room. And back through center. Left hand down. We're going to reach tall with the right arm and eventually press up and over. And then down and around to the opposite ankle. Back through center, open to the back of the room. And back through center. All right. If you can, without tumbling over. Take your left leg over your right. Sit tall, press into the ball, that'll help, and push the ball backwards. Then come up, right hand on the outside of that left leg, and rotate. As you come back through center, slide that leg out, and this time you can do that regular figure 4, so ankle on the thigh. If you feel really wobbly, press into the ball to lift yourself. And then give it a little hinge, tailbone goes backwards, spine hinges. And lift it up. If you want to go the other side, right over left, arms around, push into the ball to grow tall through your spine. Back through center, crisscross applesauce. Tailbone long as you hinge. Bring it back. And then we're going to go wide stance. What the heck? Let's get a little ball or a little bounce while we're here. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Big arm movement. Let's just get some lymph flow in here. We're not quite done with our stretches. We'll do one more stretch and then we'll add this in. All right, and then relax those arms down, hinge forward, press the ball back. Bring your hands in front, press the legs open, arch your spine in a cow. And then exhale, round back in a cat. You can move the ball forward and back as you do your cow cat. And if you wanted to, you could reverse it. So you could go cow back and cat forward, and cow back and cat forward. Totally up to you. And then when you're ready, we're going back to our little jumping jack. And if you want to, you can actually move your legs if that doesn't feel stable to you. No worries. Just 2 more. Arms get to rest. We're going to keep the bounce in the legs, but we're going to pull the ribs and the abs down. We're going to count down when we get to 1 from 8. We're going to stand up 8, 7. I'm just doing that. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay. That was Big Ball Day. Hope you have a winsome Saturday. And we have a little more summer trivia. Everyone okay? No injuries?
Not yet.
Okay, let's finish up our summer trivia, or not our summer trivia for today. This one's pretty easy. What are the 3 summer zodiac signs?